Here we go.
Hey. We're live.
Yeah. Thanks again for doing this.
For sure.
Appreciate it. Why don't you just describe where we are and what trail are we on?
Yeah, so
what park are we in?
We are in Pacific Spirit Park in Vancouver, adjacent to UBC. And this particular trail is called Sasamat Trail. And it's this incredible network of rainforest kind of trails and old growth. The trees are just incredible. So this is a park that I guess effectively as a family we discovered it.
Yeah.
Even though it was already here during COVID times when so many public spaces were on lockdown and even school playgrounds, and our daughter was 6 at the time, and so needed places to be outside.
Yeah.
And get the body moving, and so I think that's when I discovered the concept of, in Japanese, Shinrin-yoku.
Yeah, forest bathing.
Yeah. And so I was like, and it was almost like discovered it in reverse because, or we had been out several times, and I'm like, what is the feeling out here? Like, why do I feel so grounded, alive, in my body, like more myself, or something, like so there's something mysterious about it, and I'm like, lo and behold, well, of course, it's a form of therapy.
Yeah.
It's like the forest and the earth is literally holding us, and
yeah,
it's pretty wild. So this has become a place that either all three of us would come, or if Terry, my partner, was working, then I might take my daughter. Terry would come on her own, or she would take our daughter Adriana, and so in various permutations we found our way to Pacific Spirit Park. And so now we don't get here quite as often. It's a bit of a drive from our home, but
I was going to ask if that was something that you continued, but once COVID was over, life sort of changes. Hey, I'm going to switch sides here with you, and I'm going to try and hopefully it's not too distracting, but I'm going to take pictures as we go along too.
Yeah, that's great. And there's always dogs, sometimes bikes.
Yeah.
And so share the trail.
Yeah.
Towards in certain parts of spring and summer, actually wild berries, and it's kind of fun to harvest those. And occasionally Terry's really good on which ones are, safe.
Yeah.
And so discover that. Oh yeah, the dog's just having a heyday here.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd bring those home and eat them on ice cream.
Nice.
Blackberries and all that stuff. For sure.
Yeah. Isn't that a great part of spring when the berries are out and you can. What about these days? Like, do you have a practice of getting outside, or?
Yeah, mostly I enjoy running, and so for me, morning runs 2 to 3 times a week if possible. And
just in your neighborhood there?
Yeah,
or do you?
Usually actually straight down 16th Ave, kind of due west and then back. And occasionally, if I'm doing a little bit longer, I'll jog up to Douglas Park, which it's a nice big park as well.
Yeah.
And has a nice track around it, and so a little break from the pavement and get around some softer ground. But that's the most consistent, at least for exercise and movement, and then you try to walk just in the city wherever possible, whenever possible.
Yeah.
And
Well, just tell me about your experience of nature in an urban setting. Like, I picked you up on Main Street.
Right.
It doesn't get, you're on the edge of the big city, but
that's right.
You're still very much in the city. So
that's a good question. I mean, when we moved to the city in 2008, we actually lived in Yaletown.
Oh, yeah.
We were
So you were right.
Our building
yeah,
overlooked David Lamb Park and the seawall, right?
Right,
and so the Falls Creek seawall,
Yeah.
portion of the seawall. And so I think right from the beginning there was, and it's I haven't really reflected on this too much, but yeah, when you think about urban centers, it was interesting for us coming to living in a building where you don't have a yard.
Yeah.
And so the green spaces maybe just became consciously or subconsciously more important. Mm-hmm. And so you pay attention to where the parks are or what the weather's like and when can I get outside. And so the park spaces are shared.
Yeah.
And the seawall became, I can't think of a better place on the planet than to run. You know, it's just so gorgeous, so inspiring.
And you can get down to Stanley Park from there. And
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason Vancouver is on the top cities list.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with the outdoors and ironically like the green spaces within urban environments. And Stanley Park, of course, is world renowned. And so,
yeah,
so something about that. Maybe spend more time outside in an urban environment versus suburban. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
going back to that time where you came here as a family, that sounds like it was like a kind of a special time. Like maybe would be a special memory, or there was a connection on many different levels, right?
Yeah, there was something about, as a dad, part of what I love about this phase of life, I mean, and Terry and I became parents later in life. So I was the 50-year-old with the kindergartner, you know, and so.
Yeah, wow.
But anyone who is a parent or has the privilege of being with young ones knows that you cannot not experience part of your life vicariously through the eyes of a child. And so, so discovering each leaf and plant and berry and, piece of bark and through our daughter's eyes.
Yeah.
And she's just like, the distractions are so myriad, but they're different. They're the ones that were like, oh, you want to stop and look at that fern for 20 minutes? By all means.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we have a snack, something to drink. If we go to the bathroom, all of those sorts of things are a part of it. But yeah, they were some bonding times. And
talk about awe and wonder, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just all here, and the joy of just being out in the midst of it, and wow, this is free. You don't have to save up for a trip to the forest, you know.
Yeah.
They're going to order my life.
What was your experience of nature growing up? Were you close to nature, or what was it?
It's a great question.
Did you grow up in a city too?
No, I kind of grew up in many different suburban environments.
Okay.
So a lot of suburbs, not really in a city center.
Yeah.
And so a lot more time in the car, getting from place to place. And so, I don't really, aside from, we did live in coastal environments for a good portion of my upbringing. So I feel a connection to the ocean.
Yeah.
And getting a chance to have trips there to lakes, so that sort of thing. So I feel like water and nature, less forest kind of environments growing up.
Yeah.
But it's a great question, because I don't really feel like I developed a relationship to nature or thought about it much into my adulthood, for sure.
Yeah.
I think having some, the privilege of having some Indigenous friends as well, and the notion of like all my relations.
Yeah.
And how we interact and treat and receive and respond to even the smallest sort of aspects of nature. So I feel like I'm a novice in my relationship to nature, but growing in it and keep learning,
Yeah. Have you say more about that? Like, have you been spending some time with some Indigenous friends and people and learning?
Yeah, my friend Bear Barnettson, who lives in the city here as an artist, and
I've seen him on social media.
Oh, incredible.
I think I might know his wife too. Yeah.
His mom is Cheryl Bear.
Cheryl, yes, I met Cheryl.
Yeah, and he he's been a very generous friend and patient, teacher, and in a lot of ways, and that concept of all my relations, we spent some time kind of talking about that in the context of having him share in our church, and so yeah, he's generous with that. So yeah, I continue to learn and sort of read and grow and pay attention, do more listening than talking.
Yeah.
Just gonna stop here for a second.
What have you learned? Like, what's been significant about that, or what you've been learning?
Yeah, like some of it is, I think that baseline sense of, well, again, when we think about nature, the created world, a sense of awe and reverence and order and respect, that just is so innate to indigenous spirituality, or just simply ways of being human. And so that has been something that, when I compare that with my Christian religious upbringing, nature and creation,
something to be subdued and not necessarily that respect, right?
Yeah. Maybe more of a big deal made out of that Psalm 8 about humans being made a little lower than God, and perhaps most Christian theology is taking that as license to commandeer and demand, or even Genesis, like this notion of fill the earth and subdue, and like taking that verb to lengths I don't think it was intended to be taken to. And so there was something about notion of being caretakers and stewards that I guess, so that was part of my, at least in the Living from the Heart course in Soul Stream, we talk about espoused beliefs and operational beliefs. So my espoused theology would be that, we are caretakers and we are partners with creation, but my operational beliefs were anything but. The way I interacted with nature was, if I even gave it a second thought, it was like, nature is subservient to me. It exists for my benefit only, and just the very overly human-centric sort of view. Yeah. So I think becoming more familiar with indigenous ways of seeing the world have given me flesh to sort of put on to that theology, and ways of embodying those beliefs that I feel like I want to grow into. Yeah.
Has there ever been like an experience in nature that kind of left a mark on you, that you go, wow, like, oh man, talk about wonder and awe, like did something go real deep, like it was just really spectacular, and that you'll remember forever, kind of thing?
You can edit out this long pause.
Happen,
right?
Sure, yeah. You need to think about it. Go for it.
Fix that in post. Okay. One comes to mind. I was on the island of Iona in Scotland.
Oh wow! I like where this is going already.
And that is a moment that has left a mark for sure. Gratefully, it didn't take minutes to recollect. Context was I was coming to the end of a season of teaching at a small theological school in Abbotsford, and the program I was teaching in was worship arts, and our students were, a handful of students got a chance to, we can go anywhere we want here. Let's take a right.
Okay.
This way. Yeah. People in the worship arts program that were on the third or fourth year students could do a semester abroad, and so they had an opportunity to visit Thésée in France. Le Brie in Switzerland, and Iona in Scotland. And so as a faculty, my colleague and I took turns for this brief window that this program even existed to go out and be with the students at the close of their semester. So found myself on Iona. I think this was for the second time, because he and I researched it first, and this time I was meeting students on my own. And
so was it self-directed for those students while they were there, or what was that?
Great question. Yeah, both. both Taizé and Iona, they were just there for a week at a time, and they just flowed with the programs that were being hosted there.
Oh, okay.
Labrie was a little bit more self-directed. They had a 6 or 7 week window there, where they did kind of take on a sort of their own project and had freedom to do that, and then also tour and explore and have conversations and work on things as they went. So in Iona, the Iona community hosts, as part of the week, most weeks I believe this happens, a pilgrimage walk around the island. Tiny island, 7 kilometers in diameter. So, but this is the place where Christianity supposedly entered Scotland. And so one of the stops on that pilgrimage walk, our guides would take us to various places, but one of them was called Columba's Bay. And so St. Columba, who was an Irish priest, and his mission was to take the gospel to Scotland.
Yeah.
And so he would sail, and this bay is, according to best guesses, probably the place where he would have landed by boat to come to the island of Scotland and begin and set up his mission and his work there. And so we're in that place, our tour guide's talking a little bit about the history. And if you know anything or have ever been to Scotland, you know that you can experience all 4 seasons in one day. And so that was true to form. And at that moment in time, he's describing St. Columba leaving what he knew, coming to a place for, turning his back on family and friends and pain and the loss and the grief of all of that, and moving to embrace something else. And the wind is tearing through, and we can barely hear. He's probably shouting, that sense of, what are you saying?
Wow.
The rain is falling slant, hard, sideways, so you are just aware of the present moment. Like I just felt like, oh my goodness, what is actually going on here?
Yeah.
And with this incredible sense of history. And then we were simply invited to, think about those hinge points in your own story, and maybe this is one of them now, and so I think we were invited to draw specifically to the present, pick up a rock from the bay, and as something representing something you want to leave behind.
Oh, okay.
And hurl it out to the bay.
Okay, so let's just go over that again.
And
so you're thinking about like a hinge point or a change in your life, a transitional point in your life. Yes.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking about, along with that, you're thinking about something that you want to leave behind. Like
that's right. So take a rock from the bay.
Yeah.
What's the thing that you're leaving behind?
Okay.
Give it some thought. Hurl it out as far as you can.
Yeah.
And then take another one that represents that which you want to be moving forward into.
Oh, okay.
So 2 rocks. One that you leave and throw, and another one that you keep with you in your pocket. I think I had that for a couple of years after that.
You had the rock?
I had it in my pocket, but I put it on my desk or something. And and so it was one of those experiences in nature, certainly, and that was a part of the story. Certainly it was the history that filled out the experience, but the visceral sort of just what the world was doing in that moment, with the waves crashing, rain falling, wind blowing, people around, all experiencing the story and considering their own story and intersection with it. And so I just felt like the power of the ocean and my smallness in connection to that, but also I get to be part of it in some way, and I'm here. I'm not being consumed by it. So that's one.
On a lot of levels, there's a lot going on in that.
Right? Lots happening for sure.
Do you remember the result of that? Like, what do you remember? Is it okay to ask what the rock was that you took home with you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, really, it was, as I mentioned, it was the end of an 11-year stint as a faculty.
Right.
And I was moving into starting a new faith community in Vancouver. And so it was that hinge moment of
So the timing of it was kind of
incredible.
Did you leave that behind? Was that one of the things you left behind, like when you threw the rock?
Yeah, it was that sense of like, I'm closing this chapter.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that happened in my more recent vocational shift was someone gave me the phrase identity cleanse.
Oh.
And as one of their hopes for me.
Oh, I love that. That's a great phrase.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it was just something that stuck with me. And so maybe there's something even in the water there that I'm just reflecting this retroactively back on that moment. But there really was this sense of like, this needs to end. It's good that it ends. There were good things that I gave myself to while we were in it, tried to show up as best I could for students and colleagues and in my teaching role and facilitating chapels and all of the things that held. And so, but to recognize that this is now over. Yeah. This has been discerned. It's a good decision. And we're moving on to something new. And who knows what that's going to be like. That sends a bit of fear, trepidation. But also just a sense of divine mystery with me in all of that. And that sense that I won't be alone. Yeah, I haven't been alone, and I won't be alone moving forward. And much like Columba was calling to mind that sense as well, like the sense of being pulled and called into, and so there was a strange comfort in the midst of it as well.
I love what was going on in that Iona experience, sort of like the mystery, being in nature kind of puts you in your place,
Yeah.
Like even a storm is like kind of heightened awareness, and and then being in doing it in community, doing it with others, and in such a place that's so rich in history and even prayer and the whole 9 yards, right? That's really cool.
Yeah.
So identity cleanse, I love that.
Isn't that good?
I love that term.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had...
Shout out to Ryan Pemberton who gave me that.
Okay, good. We've got the source.
Yeah.
I think for all of us, for most people, our identity's caught up in what we do.
Right.
But
but
so
that
what's that been like for you? Like you've been going through that this last year or few years, really, where you're
that awareness
making a shift.
that I am not only my role as a pastor.
Yes.
And there were a few. I'm grateful that the community that that we helped to start and that I left now had I would say, compared to other faith communities I've been connected to, a relatively high emotional intelligence. And so I think I feel a gratitude for that, where, in meetings or as we're processing big decisions or vision or direction or those sorts of things, like feelings matter, our bodies matter, how this lands on us, how this lands on others, those sorts of things matters. And so
wow, that's super rare, isn't it, that they would have that?
It does feel that way, unfortunately. So,
yeah.
And so there was a time 2 years before I stepped down. So just for context, I stepped down exactly a year ago, November of 24.
Yeah.
And so back in 22, in the early part, we had gone through some pretty significant changes as a community, left our denomination out of a desire to be inclusive of LGBTQ plus humans.
Yeah.
And
sorry, you're in the midst of a deep story, but I need to take a picture of it. Hello.
Guys are just loving it. Oh, it's so cool.
That was probably the worst point at which I could have interrupted you, but hopefully you can continue.
Yeah, early 22, come through COVID kind of times, and pivoting as a community, and where are all the people now, and are they going to come back? All kinds of different things, and so talk about identity shifting and all that kind of stuff. But I hit a low in early 22, and I kind of like I've not been this fatigued before. What's this going to be like? And so I told our leadership, and I just like I don't know what's going on. Either I'm getting close to burnout, or maybe I'm done. And I would imagine the transition that you went through as a church and with your denomination, all that probably contributed a lot to that. Absolutely.
Too.
Yeah. There's so many sources of that weight, that sense of tiredness.
Yeah.
And it felt different than what I experienced at any other time. And so let them know. And they said, okay, well, what do you need? And I said, well, probably a break. And so I took a break. They gave me basically an impromptu month-long leave.
Yeah.
Said, let's reassess and see how you're doing after that. I said, okay. So to be given that gift, and one of the things that came up, and this relates back to the identity cleanse moment, and maybe just a foreshadowing of some of the processing that I would continue to do, was someone said at some point in time, you need to have permission to be a human being going through a process. As you hit this low, as you become aware that something isn't right, we need to help you to parse out that sense of being a pastor, the expectations that can sometimes get laden on to push through or to keep going despite, there's theological verses that you can pull out, like stay the course, finish the race, those sorts of, who knows? But someone...
That's good terminology too, like giving you space to just be a human being.
Be a human being going through a process.
Going through a process, yes. Wow.